Thanks for staying with us. So times are really hard, especially in this present band-aid economy. But entrepreneurs must be harder and figure out how to increase revenue at all costs. So they want to reduce costs, they want to improve quality of products, services, and brand equity. These and many more we'll be discussing with the serial entrepreneur, Mr. Ezekiel Solesi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
So on Wednesdays, we like to bring in entrepreneurs who have actually grown businesses, who have actually sustained their businesses, and who are finding a way around this economy that we are in. I mean, things are not easy. People are not spending. Went to the market the other day, and the prices are astronomical. So that's why when we bring people like you, it's just to show us the way. How you doing it, how you surviving. So let us first of all start with your role as an entrepreneur. What brought you into that space, and what are the kinds of things you thought that you'd be able to achieve being an entrepreneur?
Okay, so my journey kind of started early. So I got into business right out of school. I never took a job in my life, right? And it started early for me because, you know, when I was in school, we had a situation where we got into a place where I had to become financially responsible, right? Which a lot of people consider bad, but it turned out to be good because when you had to figure out your pocket money, figure out part of your fees, you know, and the likes, you turn out...
tough people.
Exactly, you know, so that's pretty much how I started out. And I then got into a few businesses, one of which is a manufacturing company that I, of course, started with my dad. But I've always had sort of like the passion to be able to teach people. I ended up in a private university, and one of the things that annoyed me was how a lot of people from rich homes didn't seem like they had a plan. So I and a particular friend of mine started this thing called Purpose Group. I mean, he's also successful now. He has a $7 billion solar energy business. Wow. You know, and the like. So we started that. So that's sort of how my consulting eventually, you know, sprung out of that. Now we have 4,000 people in our community. We have 47 of them that do over $1 billion a year in revenue, even in these tough times.
So because I know your community, and I've heard you speak, and the numbers are shocking. Yeah. And especially when you mentioned what they were earning a year before, what they are earning a year after. I've not heard you speak in the last 1 year. So, and I know that this 1 year has been hitting a lot of businesses. Yes, I'd like to know what if you're still your community is still generating that result, because I want a sense of hope of what is possible.
So if you think about it, times are tough. But the thing about entrepreneurs is that we can sit down and cry about how bad the country is, but we have to clean our eyes and ask, what are we going to do, right? So I'll give you some stats. So this year, we had this thing that we started 3 years ago where it's something that we practiced ourselves and then we started working with business. I realized that a lot of businesses make assumptions about the beginning of the year. Everybody here assumes nobody spends money in January. So we chill all through January. We wake up in February. We try to do business in March. So we started this thing 3 years ago where we said, look, is it possible to do everything you did in the whole of last year in the first 90 days, right? This year, we worked with about 37 people. About 25 of them hit, we're talking about, I mean, businesses that did up about 8 billion last year did in the first 90 days. Business that did about 2 billion last year did. See, things are happening.
So what are you saying? What kind of markets? I mean, I don't.
So one of them runs a mechanic workshop.
I don't want you to come out and
that's
say
where
your
I was
business.
going.
No, it's not. Yes.
But tell us what you are doing, because this is billion
Good.
here.
So let me run you through.
Talk about the mechanic workshop.
Let me run you through one of them.
Yeah.
So one of them runs a mechanic workshop in Owerri. Not even in Lagos, right? So we sit down with this business and realize the whole of last year, they saw about 700 different vehicles, right? Now, most of the time, we don't do this thing measured. People just walk into the shop, you collect all this information. So the question is, how do we get, because everybody who has a car needs to at least do a service every 3 months. Yeah. Right? If you get all these 700 people to do their service in the first 90 days, you would hit everything you did all of last year. Exactly. It's really that simple. But the problem is that a lot of us don't, we just allow business and life happen to us, right? Really? So somebody comes into your shop or comes into your business, you've collected the data, the person bought biscuits or the person bought water. What are the chances that they would need to buy that thing over and over again over the next 6 months? Right? And if that chances exist, why are they not buying it from you?
Oh. So what do you do for them?
So the first thing we like to do is to get people to keep data.
Okay.
So I'll give you an instance. So there's this pharmacy business who, most people that open pharmacy business, we have this pharmacy business that we've worked with over a 3-year period, it hits over $1 billion. So, so this pharmacy business, we collected data, and I'm going to say something I hope is not, it's a good thing, but a bad thing at the same time. So we collected data, and we wanted to find out how many people that live around your pharmacy who use your service have diseases that are not curable.
It happens.
So because if I have malaria, I can take malaria and I'm gone. It's until when malaria hits me again. But if I'm dealing with high blood pressure or if I'm dealing with all these things, I'm going to need
consistent.
Yeah. Because if I need it consistently and somebody buys a drug that suggests that they have that kind of problem and they don't come back in 30 days to buy again,
go somewhere else.
Chances are they forgot, so they had a crisis, so they bought it from wherever it is that they got it. Or they went somewhere else. Question, how can we prompt them in 25 days to let them know that, oh, your drug is about to end, can we send it to you?
You know why I'm loving what you're saying? Because it actually makes logical sense.
But we don't
I buy my kids the stuff they take to school. They're snacks. Consistently at the same place. If that store has my data, they'll be reminding me that, Ma, you bought a box and you have 4 kids. This thing should have ended, because I always wonder by that, somebody should be alert to remind me to buy the snacks. So you are very correct.
So a lot of businesses don't do
So
that.
what I hear is that a lot of businesses is lost from negligence.
Yes.
Not consciousness.
And a lot of money
consciousness
by paying attention.
Exactly. I mean, if businesses just pay attention, they would make a lot of money, right? Because one, if somebody, for example, buys, so one of the things that we do with real estate people, because we say, look, every customer in real estate, anybody who's bought from you must give you 3 value. One is testimonial value. Second is referral value. Third is repeat value. So at any point in time, I must find a way to get those 3 things out of a customer. So somebody has bought property from me, right? People who buy properties always buy. If they've not bought from you in 2 years, they bought from somebody else. So the question is, what conversation are you having? So one of the guys that we worked with, we said, look, this person has bought from you. The person is a doctor, lives in the UK, is bought from you 3 years sparingly. So I said, go back to the guy and say, you know what? How about I help you develop a plan to have a billionaire in real estate assets over the next 10 years? The guy says, how do you mean? Good. You don't need to spend $1 billion to have $1 billion in assets, because this thing is, appreciating really fast, right? So by the time you do the calculation, you might realize this person needs to spend, I don't know, 500, 700 million over the next 10 years. So now you have a plan. This guy is going to owe you 70 million every year. So you wake up January 1st, you have 10 people who are working to give you 70 million.
Let me not lie to you. When you walked into the show, I forged you. I forged you.
I looked down. I looked down.
Underestimated. I said,
It's not where it not look like Wall Street. You came here looking like you came for a long time. Relax.
And then you're not giving us strategy that is.
I feel like jumping, because I feel like I can start a business in helping people saying what they are saying. I can start a business telling people to start gathering data of their customers. This is huge.
It's important. So what we start to do is that we now start having people. So I'll give you another instance of a business. So we had this business in Anambra that we worked with. They're also in real estate. So they did about 1.8 billion last year. They got into our program. In the first quarter, they did 2.3 billion. But when he sent me the message, he sent it to me with sort of like a downside. And the downside was like, oh, they are gearing up for the rainy season. So I said, what's happening in the rainy season? He said, because sales is always terrible in the rainy season. I said, so why is sales terrible in the rainy seasons? Because most of the activities in the East is driven by the market. And in the rainy season, there's not much activity in the market, so there's not much activity there, so sales can't happen. I said, good. I said, it's good that we know that. So I invited them, they came to Lagos, we sat in my office, and I said, the reason why you're having this problem is because you're only thinking about people in the East. I said, because now Lagos is having a problem, there's demolition, everybody's angry, everybody was looking for where else to put their money. People are businesses in Lagos are trying to open up real estate companies in the East to sell something for, but you guys are in the East. So the first thing we did was say, you know what, put a billboard. We put a billboard right opposite Computer Village saying, secure your investment in the East with a company in the East, right? We got the figure in September. They've done 7 billion. Yeah, because it's just simple. The Igbo community are one of the most cash-rich people. And if an Igbo man tells you he has 100 million, he has it. If a Yoruba man tells you he has 100 million, he has maybe 5 million and 95 million in convertible.
Why?
No, but it's true now. Yoruba now.
But so you know your
what they carry in liquidity.
I mean, he has 5 million somewhere, 95 million that they can convert. But so you're talking to all these people who actually have money. You're in the East. They can trust you quite easily. So the thing is, most people, what happens is that we do business like it's a mystery, right? We do business like it's a mystery, you know, and so we pray. You pray to God to be able to bring customers, and you don't need. See, God. I will pass to God. God don't vex, but God. See, God is not in the equation of how you get customers.
He's still in the equation.
Yeah. You know the reason why I said that? Because it's like Nigeria is playing Brazil. Okay. You know, I'm in Nigeria, I'm praying. Father Brazilian. Lord, let me win.
Brazil
the Christian in Brazil is praying. So who is God going to support? God has left that thing to who's most prepared.
Let me talk to. There's a woman that I always buy plantain chips from. I used to order from her. Now there's a time she sent me, and I stopped ordering for a while, right? And if she has my data, all she needed to do was ask me, because I started buying plantations on different places, people. But I really liked hers. And the reason why I just didn't order, the idea of calling, somebody came to me. Yeah. But I preferred that other lady's zone. It was just to order and start requesting. I just didn't bother. But imagine she had my data. She knows Maria has not ordered this in 1 month. She should have contacted me. And if she did, I would have ordered from her. So in the simplest form, is really knowing your customers.
It is. Yeah.
And following up. Because that money, and make sure that every 2 weeks, Mariah orders plantain chips from me. No, once you see me eating plantain chips for somebody else, you know that you've lost me. So you're constantly, you're close marking me. Every 2 weeks.
Let's help him. We have plenty of businesses, at least, but I know Nima has rice business. And that is a business many people... Somebody spoke to me yesterday about cement, that because of the way cement price is going, they are already predicting that it might be a challenging season. Rice also, people that do rice business, they're already like thinking, this Christmas, will people buy rice the way they buy rice as gifts because it is now very expensive. This is like reality of expensive market. How can we maintain
let's deal with
our income when there are challenges?
You have a rice business. So the question is, who are you selling to? Are you selling to end consumers who are buying? Are you selling to people who are using it as gifts? Are you selling to people who run a restaurant? Because that's the first thing I want to know. Right?
Who's your customer?
So who's the customer? Because while you can sell to everybody, you can't market to everybody.
Okay.
Right? So let me take each instance. So let's say you're selling to people who are, end users who are, buying it.
Eat.
So the first thing that you have to realize is that people would eat rice. It doesn't matter. The question is whether they're buying from you. So what could be your USP? Oftentimes, it could be convenience, right? How do I find a number of people who they don't have to stress themselves to buy this thing from me, right? So you could sell convenience. If I'm selling to people who use it as gifts, right? So what organizations, so for example, real estate businesses like she runs and all these people, they would give rice this December. So how many real estate CEOs do you have as friends, right? You need to collect as many of those people as friends. So that you can say, are you not giving to your customers? You suggest to them, are you not giving rice to your customers? You know what, we have this rate now. If you lock it in now, you won't have to buy it in December, right? This person has bought 100 bags, this person has bought 200 bags, you bought 100 bags.
Sorry, Nima.
Right?
It's even Nima I want to...
Because people, you know how we always look, when we want to talk in Nigeria, we always expect the other person, like it's their fault that they weren't supposed to call me to ask for the services. Because I bought rice from Nima before. Nima is waiting for me to order rice. I am your customer. Wait, I'm just trying, I'm bringing it home to the conversation with you. Nima knows me as a potential, because I have bought some rice from you before. But Nima is not asking me, Demara, tell your rice, has it finished? Because she's, as a person, you're waiting for the customer to be able to go and find you. And what you are saying is that we, the ones who are selling, we must be the ones to be telling the customers and be reminding them.
Not finished.
No,
The rice not finished.
in fact,
How many customers can you tell?
I would even go one more better. How much rice do you typically spend in a month? Do you eat in a month?
My rice takes a quart, like 3 months. One bag of rice will take about.
So 1 bag of rice in 3. How much is a bag of rice? 75,000. So that means you have a market value of about 300,000 to 400,000 naira to high in a year.
Yeah.
So the question would be, what's the cost of getting that kind of business? I would say to you that, you know what, if you order from us every single time, we need your birthday. What happened? On your birthday, we would send you 2 kg of rice, just as a thank you for your business.
So we're maintaining that.
Right? So, because every business must know their customers. I mean, one of the things that we promote in our community is somebody in your business, somebody in your customer sheet must know the name of somebody inside the business. Right? So even in my organization, we do 300 calls a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And even I do 20, 30 calls every single day. Why? And we're not calling to just try to sell to people. We're just calling to find out what these people are doing. What's happening with them? What's changing in their lives? Yeah. You know, because the thing is, the moment things shift for people, even the things they regularly would buy, they feel a need to want to change whoever they're buying it from because they think that person is expensive. But the thing that plugs that thing out is the relationship that you've built. So there are some people, they've probably moved on, they're buying rice more expensive somewhere else, but they just feel the need to just change somebody because times are hard, let's change who we're buying from. You know, but the reality is that would they eat rice, they'll eat rice. Would they cook beans, they'll eat beans.
You know, there's something I've noticed about Nigerian businesses. When it is small scale, I feel like people really go all out to maintain it. So, like recently when the increase in food prices, I heard that there's some people that will cut the tuber of yams into smaller pieces so that they can sell. And I'm like, Nigerians are so innovative. How come I don't see that innovation and skill applied to like maybe mid businesses?
I'll tell you why. Okay. Simple. Most businesses in this country, right, lose it because the CEO gets satisfied. So what we do this. So the biggest philosophy that we have within our community is, so if you take your lives now, take the way your life is and how expensive it is and how much of your life, anybody that works for you wants exactly what you have. Question, are you building a business that can get it to them over the next 2-3 years, right? The reason why that's important is that if you're not, most entrepreneurs, the future that they think, they only see themselves in that future. Now, the entrepreneur wants to buy a G-Wagon. He's 4 years in, he already has one. He's lost his hunger, right? He's lost his hunger. And it happens with all of us. Imagine you have a goal to make 100 million this month, right? And today is 16th. You've already done 95 million. What's going to happen is that somebody is going to call you at 11 o'clock tonight for business. And they're going to say something like, you know, these people don't understand work-life balance. What kind of nonsense is this? You know, don't they realize that, you know, people need to rest? Yeah. But the same 100 million naira goal is 26th of October, right? You've only done 5 million, and somebody who's promised you 100 million naira in business is calling at 11. You'll be very official.
Yes.
Okay. Right? So the difference is, and the reason why the businesses lose their edge is because the entrepreneur loses his sharpness because he's gotten to where he's going to.
This is masterclass.
Right? Yeah. But if the entrepreneur shifts and says, you know what, the success of my business would not be measured by how well I'm doing, but it will be measured by how well my people are doing. Right?
Oh. Yes.
Right? So I'm not going to be happy when I can buy a nice car. Yeah. I'm going to be happier when somebody that works for me. And there are people that are doing that in this country. I mean, take Tony Lumelu, he's sitting on 3 different businesses worth over $1 trillion a year, $1 trillion market cap. And if you watch him over the last 10 years, he's had the same group of people, you know, just evolving, growing with him. Right? You can't be small, growing big people.
Okay, so now I've heard you talk about businesses that have taken off, who have markets, who have customers that they can reach out to. Talk to a business that is starting.
Good.
Someone that is building. I sell local rice. It's not something Morayo consumes regularly.
I'll just take an example. Let me do
it. So you go to the shopping mall and see a local rice brand, but you pick a foreign rice brand because you trust it more. Yeah. So now, talk to a business that is starting, how you win people over. So I keep my local consumers tight. I don't bother about people that are their tastes are foreigners. Please. So how do you start to win people?
Good.
As a new business.
Beautiful. So a new business, now if somebody comes to me and say, I want to start a business, there are 4 questions that I would ask. First, what you want to start. Does it serve a huge expanding market or is it a dying market? Right? Because Nigeria would like to start business of our passion. And it doesn't work. So, but maybe you have enough money to follow your passion. If you don't have enough money, don't follow passion.
I'm willing to put my
follow where the business is, right? Because if you follow your passion, you can still make it work, but it costs a lot more, right? Because now you're talking about local rice. So you have to do a lot of education to let people realize that local rice is better, right? So which is the second thing? Is it in its time? If it's ahead of its time, like yours is, you have to spend a lot of money to educate people, right? Third is, what's my point of difference? What would make somebody move from I want to buy a phone to I need an iPhone, or I need a Samsung, or I need, whatever it is. And then the fourth is, can it give me leverage? And then the fifth thing I then like to discuss is, if you're small, get plugged into a community of people. It's easier to sell to people. I always say, look, the easiest thing, you're a small business, you want to kick off, find your customers inside a community or follow them into a community. I'll give you an instance. So within our community now, we've facilitated more than 5.6 billion naira worth of transaction inside. Somebody wants to do painting, in fact, today's Wednesday. Today what's happening is that people are talking to each other on the groups about, okay, this is what I do, how do we do business together? And the likes. Why? Because you find people inside a community, you can do big business. If you're a small business and you don't have a lot of marketing budget, find people inside the community, right? Even for me, when I started out doing, trainings and all that, it was difficult because most of the people don't want to pay for training. So what I did was that I went to microfinance banks. So I went to microfinance banks and said, look, people are owing you now. They say, yes, so they're not paying. I said, one of the reasons why they're not paying is because they don't have the money. So can I do a free training on marketing and sales for your people? Just gather all the people that are owing you. If you tell them to come for training, they will come. They're already owing you. They will come. When they come, and then you teach them, they see the value in it, I can get some people for myself, right? So I'm solving the bank's problem, and I'm also solving my own problem.
I didn't get that message.
So I have...
How are you going to call somebody?
The bank needs their people to be empowered so that they can pay their debts. Right? These people are owing you because they don't have the money.
I got you.
Right? Do you understand? So if they get better, in fact, that particular microfinance man moved on and said, okay, can I do expert in residence? So one day, a month, I'll sit down to bring somebody who will do strategies, blah, blah, blah. And they started to see results. Their business started to blow up, right? So the thing is, find people inside the community, and then you can then do business.
It's good that you said that, because I was wondering, who needs you? Is it the person who's starting off? Or how about a business who they've always done a lot of business, billions, but, as they say, times have changed and it's affecting sales. Does that business need someone like you? What would you do for them? So
our community, what we try to do is to build a community that is very useful across board. So we have 4 levels of people within our community. So there's the guy who's just starting, I just have an idea, blah, blah, up until their first 60 million in revenue. So we work with those people, right? In fact, after they attend our training, we charge them absolutely nothing. There are 3 engagements every month. We want to help them grow. There are people that have exceeded 60 million. They're trying to hit their first 100 million naira. We work with them. We work with those that have exceeded 100 million naira to a billionaire, and then those that have done beyond a billionaire. Now, what we then do is that because we like to be very practical, the person who's doing 60 million naira, who is trying to hit 100 million naira, we provide opportunities for them to meet with somebody who's done over 100 million naira, to say, okay, this is what we're doing. Because what we're trying to do is to bring somebody who's done it, but hasn't gone so far they've forgotten what they've done. So the people in our community who have exceeded the 100 million, trying to hit a billionaire, we have meetings with them every month. The Mastermind meeting, we bring people who have done over $1 billion in transactions. We're bringing them in to say, okay, because the needs are different. At certain points, you need to be better structured so that you can access international funding. At certain points, you need to even know whether there's a market or not.
I have to bring you back home now, because you're talking to entrepreneurs, I think Nima tried to take us there. There are people that things are very difficult. They don't know how to find that one thing to start a business on. They're not sure. They are passionate. I say, don't focus too much on passion, but how can they find that one thing that is marketable, that is sellable, that has a market, that is viable? If
you are starting out, you don't know what to do, sell. find something that's already selling, find the company, get it, and sell it. It's the easiest thing in the world. And it's the most powerful skill in the world.
I go to a Nima, give me
Right?
the price, I'll sell
So,
for you.
for example, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I come to Nima and say, look, you sell local rice. Good. I'm going to find people who need the local rice. And I'm going to get the rice. I'm going to sell it.
Please say it again. You need to say it that.
Yeah.
It's not like you come and collect my rice.
No, because
You find the market.
No, you find the market.
Get the money, and I will give you
Exactly.
Say it again.
So in business, if you don't have money, you sell and buy.
Yeah.
You don't buy and sell.
Come on, be
Right?
writing me.
You go, you sell, you find. That's how I started business in school. When I was in the university, that's what I did.
Almost out of time.
I sell.
So there's something. So you've last year you did Strategy Factory. You do every month, right?
Yeah, we do that. Yeah.
Strategy Factory every month. But you did a conference last year, and I paid. I did not go. So let me now tell you what happened. So I deferred, and the feedback I got from the people that went, they were like, you must be here. I didn't even pay with the intention of going. I paid so that my staff can. You know when they say, do you understand? So this year, I was not negotiating with him that the money I paid last year, can I use it this year?
It's in November.
Oh, so okay, are you here because of the conference? Let's talk about
We can talk about it.
It's about it.
Okay, so it's a convention for business owners that are looking to sort of scale their business up to the next level. But it's also about networking. Right, so we created it for networking. We have some of the best entrepreneurs. We have the first female president of Mauritius coming. Customs Maduka will be there. The MD of the oldest registers company in the country, the Boston Group.
So we'll give it any time, whatever. The people come to find out and go and
follow him.
Find his
name is Ezekiel Solesi.
Is there any discount? Like, okay,
we're not talking about money here for anything. That's not.
Can he give us?
No, that's not why we are here. I mean, but we thank you very much for your wisdom.
Thank you.
I like
you for the fact that you've been able to learn from you. We hope we wish you the best and hope that we should have more strategy. We'll bring you back. Because there are different ladies.
Places. Everybody was listening. Pin drop silence.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, that's all we can take on today's show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.